I'm an anesthesiologist who was practicing full-time, and then I wound up getting hit incredibly hard by Lyme to the point where I was essentially totally incapacitated and had to quit working completely. I really had no knowledge of what was happening at the time, but I just presented with intense, horrific symptoms of head pain and disorientation, confusion. I was just losing sensation in my hands. We were working me up for everything under the sun, and it turned out I wound up getting a diagnosis of chronic Lyme several months after that. I went down the road, as most of us do with chronic Lyme, of trying the traditional approach of antibiotics. I had a PICC line placed, was on a course of 6 months of IV antibiotics along with oral in conjunction, which did help me to the point where I felt like I was able to at least stand and do the dishes and be able to take care of the things I needed to manage, but I was not able to return to work still. It was concerning about whether my neurological function would ever return. I was faced with the question of possibly a lost career as an anesthesiologist that requires absolute critical thinking and sharp response time. The symptoms were so profound. I went to the vet and forgot the cat in the driveway, and I went to I was I was looking for my car, reported it stolen because I didn't remember where I parked it in the garage, and I thought it was on the street, and I was convinced that it was stolen. The magnitude of inability to focus was so profound that I just found that the antibiotics didn't help with that to the degree that my career that I felt that I could return to work. I just was really concerned. I was at the crossroads of whether I would really be able to continue with my career. The critical thinking required was just not there. I was feeling better after taking this long, prolonged IV antibiotic course. However, I was still having concerns about processing information, processing speed, registering information. My working memory was clearly altered compared to my baseline. Then I started the BX, and the results were unbelievable. Within several weeks, I felt unbelievably better, to the point where I felt that I could actually return to work. I started to feel almost normal again. I just couldn't believe it. It was as if someone took the windshield wipers and wiped my brain clear of the fog. It was the feeling before daily was as if someone had been putting medication in my morning coffee. Every day I had this constant cloud, almost like an overhang kind of feeling, or like someone had given me Benadryl. That's the closest that I could equate to how I felt daily. And then within a few weeks of taking the BX, it was unbelievable. There are two dramatic changes that were the most noticeable. One was the clarity of thinking and the return to a normal processing that I felt like I was becoming myself again. And the second was the energy level. Before I became hit by the Lyme, I was, an athlete, to the best of my abilities. I was working out 3 times a week, 4 times a week, was an athlete my whole life. I had stopped working out. I couldn't even walk for half a mile, really. The people wanted to go to the fair. I declined. People wanted to go walk on the beach. I did not feel like walking half a mile, a block. It was just too much for me. And then after 3 weeks, I was considering going back to the gym. I really could not believe it. It was just phenomenal. And to date, I think that the BX is the best treatment that there is for Lyme on multiple levels. Then I felt that I was able to return to work, which I have, and I'm working as an anesthesiologist again, which is an absolute gift from heaven. This substance is just, it will change the world. And it's just a matter of time before people learn how fantastic it is. Literally, within 3 weeks after taking the BX, I was ready to go back to work, and I had no concerns about whether I would be able to do the job. And that is an absolute amazing thing, because just several months prior, I was faced with the loss of my career and a changed life of living with an illness. Now I have my life back,